They thought you were an easy target. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, they thought you were an easy target. They did. But I need somebody to drop in the comments and say, ain't nothing easy about me. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say ain't nothing easy about me. Now, here's the thing, y'all. It's okay to be a good-hearted individual. It's okay to have a diamond personality. It is. However, family, on the flip side, if you ain't looking like Debo or like you bench a 350 pounds, people may be more prone to try you. All right? They may be more prone to try you. But see, here's the thing, y'all. They thought you were an easy target for manipulation. They thought that you were an easy target to be gaslit. They thought that you were an easy target to get money from, to talk to however they want to talk to you. All right? Or even to get sex from. Family, you got to understand something. Predatory people and predatory creatures don't stop at just trying to manipulate and get money from you. It's all aspects of life. All right. In fact, y'all, I was just watching the movie called Predatory or Predators, and it's on Disney Plus. It's the latest version they have out. And what it's basically about is these creatures seeking for dominance, triumph, and to conquer. All right. Dominance, triumph, and conquer. That's what a predator is. And it looks for people and things that has weaknesses, submissive behavior. All right. A weak link in their chain. Okay. They're looking for something that says, you know what? Here's the advantage. Let me go ahead and take it, and I won't have to work as hard as everybody else. When a lion is hunting for food, they don't care about the big, fat, juicy one. They looking for the one with a broke leg. Yeah, they looking for one with one eye. They looking for the advantage. You follow what I'm saying? And so, family, what I'm saying ultimately is just because you are kind-hearted or good-hearted and you have a good personality, all right, and you are the type of individual who have more patience and grace, the list goes on, right? It doesn't mean that you're weak, but it also doesn't mean that people won't perceive you as weak. You follow what I'm saying? You can't control how a person see you. And so with that being said, you got to be aware of your strengths and your weaknesses and your perception. It's not to say you should change who you are, but you should also be aware of who you are being that with, if that makes sense. All right. Like if you have a child, obviously you can be, great and good to your child. But to this random person right here, you got to be aware if you can do the same thing, okay? Maybe not the best analogy, but y'all get the point. The point is that some people would think that you are an easy target, although you're not. They are predators ultimately, okay? They are predators ultimately. When you think of a lizard, guess what, y'all? That lizard is a predator to that fly. When you think of that lizard, guess who's a predator to him? That squirrel. When you think of a squirrel, guess who's a predator to that squirrel? The dog. All right. Who's a predator to the dog? A lion. The list goes on. And what I want y'all to ultimately understand is that people thought that you were an easy target, but that's not the case. All right. And so with that being said, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get directly into this video, y'all. We're coming back with another banger. I'm posting first today on my Reno Speech Life channel. Normally I do the other one, but today, y'all, I'm here with it. What's going on? And so, family, let's get right into it. But before we do so, for all my foodies, man, what y'all ate today, all right? I had me a little protein-packed breakfast. I had salmon. I had actually 2 salmons. I had some grits with a half a cheese on the 2 boiled eggs, and some sprout. I went straight healthy today, y'all. I went straight healthy. I got training today for Muay Thai, so I want to, kind of change up my diet. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to still have my cheat days. However, I don't want to be doing all this working out and training just to lose my gains because I ain't eating fully right. You follow what I'm saying? Like, I'm somewhat healthy, I will say, but if you really want to see the full transformation of your body, you got to really do it. Like, you can have cheat days, but you still got to have that healthy part of your diet consistently to get the full transformation of your body. So that's what I'm on right now, y'all. Drop in the comments once again. Let me know how y'all doing, what y'all ate, all that jazz. But we gonna get right directly into this video. First thing is first, leave a thumbs up on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all, but y'all be sure to ring my bell so you can be notified after every single video I post. Here's the thing, y'all. First thing is first. The reason why they thought you were an easy target is because of your kindness. All right? It's because of your kindness. Now, we've been talking about kindness for the past 1 day and a half, something like that. 24 hours, 48 maybe. However, y'all, I want to highlight this one last time, okay? Unless we can find different ways to talk about it, I want to highlight this one last time. Your kindness can be perceived as a weakness, okay? Your kindness can be perceived as something that can be taken advantage of or exploited. Your kindness attracts a lot of users and takers and abusers. Yeah, that's what your kindness does. It's not because you've just been chosen to be taken advantage of, but your kindness is what attracts those type of individuals, and that places you in positions to be free picked. It places you in positions to be taunted. It places you in positions for people to look at you out of everybody in the crew, out of everybody in the group, out of everybody in the building, and say, I choose you because of your kindness. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to change this. It just means that you have to be more self-aware, all right? You have to be more self-aware and be more discerning. It's no different from the man or woman who like to help people, all right? Let's just say a man or woman, and I say man or woman because it's not gender specific. Anybody can go through this. Me, you, the next person, somebody who looks swole like Bubba or somebody who looks skinnier than a plant, okay? What I'm saying is that when you have a kind spirit, it brings certain individuals and brings certain energy to you. You would think that it brings nothing but kindness to you. Yeah, it brings that, it attracts that, but it also brings other people who wants to exploit that. Does that make sense? But you take the man or woman who loves helping people out in the store, all right? I've seen people who's the opposite of that. That's their job, but it's almost like, you spitting in their face by asking them to help you find a sweater. Like, this your job. You mad at me because I'm asking you to do your job, all right? You may have a person working inside of a restaurant, male or female, and you ask them to order. That's their job. They work on the cash register, but they pissed off at you because you decided to ask them, to order a double cheeseburger. You follow what I'm saying? Now, getting back to the one who like to help people, guess what? They go over and beyond. They go over and beyond. They always trying to help. They always trying to give you more options. They always trying to let you know that, hey, we have this over here, we got that over here, and they're extremely patient. Here's the thing, y'all. They're going to be more prone to be looked at as an easy target, all right? That's the person who says, you know what? They already was nice to me. Let me go back and ask them for this. Yeah, y'all. That's why they see you as an easy target, right? However, they thought. Somebody drop in the comments and say you thought wrong. Number 2, you're not problematic, all right? You're not problematic. People, there's nothing wrong with not being problematic, all right? You don't got to snap on everything and everybody you see. You don't have to make a big deal out of small deals. You don't have to make a small situation large, all right? It's okay to not be problematic. The flip side to it is that most people who are problematic, people don't want no problems. Let me say that once again. Most people who are problematic, people don't want no problems. It's not until they realize how strong you are, how confident you are, how powerful you are, and how well you can fight. I'm not talking about physically, but how well you can fight emotionally, how well you can fight spiritually, and how well you can fight in terms of not dealing with their BS. All right, however you want to take that. But what I'm saying is, once they realize that you are a fighter, you don't present yourself that way. Okay, that's when they realize that, oh, I thought they were an easy target, but they're not. All right, and like I said, y'all, just because you're not problematic, it doesn't mean that you are an easy target. Think about the person who avoid situations by any means necessary, okay? They avoid situations by any means necessary. You may think they're soft, but what if this person is a trained martial artist? All right. What if this person is a trained boxer, which is another art, but not martial arts, but you get it. What if this person is a Marine Corps or a Navy SEALs? All right. What if? And they're avoiding the situation. Would it still be the same? Would it still be the same? Or would it then be, oh man, they dangerous? All right. Sometimes, y'all, people avoid situations not because they're scared of you, but they're scared of what they're going to do to you. They're scared of what they're going to say to you. They're scared of being placed and pulled outside of their character. They're scared of themselves. And so instead of putting myself in position to go to jail, to get locked up, to harm somebody or to get myself harmed, whatever the case is, it's best that I walk away from the situation. Not because I'm scared of you, but because I'm scared of what I'm going to say or do to you. All right. But that's another one, y'all. You're not problematic. Okay. Number 3, it's your smile. It's your smile, y'all. You know, y'all, sometimes people let the smooth taste fool them. Okay. I know it happened with me a lot. A lot of people may look at me and think I'm just when I smile. Now, when I'm not smiling, I get it. I look like a bully. But when I smile, you know, it kind of place me in that bubble or in that box, like, you know, maybe I can try, you know, especially if the guns ain't showing. But outside of that, y'all, when you got a nice smile or when you always are smiling, sometimes people kind of take that as a weakness. But there's nothing wrong with smiling, all right? But what smiling ultimately does is it comes off as submissive, masking vulnerabilities, and lacking confidence. According to research, y'all, I'm gonna say this again. It kind of exude a submissive behavior, masking vulnerability, and lacking confidence. All right, that's what a smile does at times. Now, some of the most confident people are those who have $1 million smile. Some of the most confident people are those who are smiling. You know, some of the most powerful people are those who are smiling. So it's not subject to be true all the time. However, y'all, that smile, man, especially if you have a good one and a nice one, some people will try to take advantage of that or use that as leeway to exploit you. All right. Somebody drop in the comments and say, you can never exploit me. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say you can never exploit me. Number 4 is going to be this right here, y'all. Your silence. All right. Your silence. So again, if you're not the person who's always making a big deal out of things, if you're not the person who's always, you know, making an issue and you're loud and you're always snapping on somebody, yelling, you know, most times, y'all, people are going to look at you as an easy target. They haven't said nothing, so maybe I could try it. You know, maybe I could try it. They haven't said nothing, so maybe y'all could say something to them. You know, sometimes, y'all, silence can be mistaken for weakness, you know, but a wise man once said, you know, the best response sometimes is none at all right? The best response sometimes is none at all. And that's powerful in itself. It's just like the observer. If a person is an observer, that means they know what's going on behind them, on the side of them, in front of them. They know what's going on around the area, within the environment. They can see it. They can smell it, all right, before they even touch it. That's the observer. A lot of people sleep on the observer. If you are an observer, drop in the comments and let me know. A lot of people sleep on the observer, all right? Number 5, which is the last one, y'all, is going to be this right here. It's your patience. Your patience, family. Now, when you think of a person with patience, you may think of a person being scared to speak up. You may think of a person being scared to defend themselves or others around them. A person with patience are rational, analytical, gracious, and they are looking at every single perspective before they say or do something. That is a person with patience, all right? You're thinking about others. You're looking at the situation from this perspective. You're looking at the situation from that perspective. Like, you're not quick to be hot-headed, all right? Sometimes, a lot of times, people take patience as weakness. No, I'm just patient. It take me a long time to go off. It take me a long time to turn into that bomb. All right, that ticking time bomb. It take me a long time before, I snap and go off. But in fact, that saves lives, including yours. So the point is, y'all, is that when you have patience, it's going to come off like you are an easy target, but you're not. When you think of dog training, the more patience you have with the dog, it's good. However, some dogs will try you. Straight up. You got a bunch of patience for that dog. But if with the right dog, that dog gonna try you for sure. Same thing with basic human nature or basic human interaction. When you have patience for certain humans, family, some of them are going to appreciate it. But a lot of them is going to exploit it, or they're going to try to exploit it because you have patience, not realizing that patience is a sign of wisdom. Point blank, period. Somebody drop in the comments and say, I was sparing you. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, I was sparing you. Never take a person with patience for granted, because I guarantee you they're sparing you and saving you from yourself, all right? And that happens to be you. But with that being said, y'all, they thought you were an easy target. We're going to do a recap and then we'll conclude this video. Number one, y'all, it's your kindness, all right? And as we all know, kindness can be mistaken for weakness. Number two, you're not problematic. You're not a person who make an issue out of everything. You don't got no pepper on my salmon. Issue. You didn't knock on my door. You run the doorbell and it said on the door to knock on the door. Issue. And again, I'm not saying that you can't speak up, but you're just not problematic. And there's nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, some people are going to take it as you an easy target until they realize they thought. Number three, your smile. Like I told y'all, if you have a nice smile, $1 million smile, okay, a confident smile, some people are going to look at that as a weakness. Number four, your silence. Number five, y'all, your patience, all right? With that being said, family, y'all already know how we do. Y'all make sure y'all go over to the website, richmentalityattire.com. Get you a Yes Sir t-shirt, Yes Sir hoodie, book a one-on-one session with your boy, and you can check out any one of my books. But I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Keep a rich mentality. Peace.